Hello, YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Pinstar Plays Surviving Mars Space Race Expansion. So yes, the Space Race expansion is the first major bit of DLC being released for Surviving Mars, and Paradox Interactive was nice enough to not only give me a free key to it, but also let me get my hands on it a little bit earlier than usual. Space Race comes out officially on the 15th, but I am here to bring you a sneak peek of what you have in store. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. Now, for our setup here, in addition to, they have added two new sponsors, Brazil and Japan, but they have also revamped a lot of the older sponsors by giving them new unique mechanics, new unique buildings, new unique rovers and vehicles. So take a closer look at each of these. And actually what I'll do here, I'm going to scan through them. If you guys really want to see what they've done for each of these, we can screen cap them real quick. Just pause the video. But today, I think we're going to dive headfirst into as much of the new stuff as we can. So we're going to go with one of the brand new sponsors. And you guys know me, I like me a challenge. So I'm going to go with Japan, who is rated as a hard difficulty. So Japan's deal, they get 6,000 million, aka 6 billion, which is a fairly healthy start for, well, compared to the some of the other harder ones. 50 applicants, standard research per soul. They get the Wasp drone, a faster flying drone. So yeah, all their drones work the same and do the same things, but they are faster and they fly. That is, I've been tinkering around with that. That is pretty darn cool, I have to say. The automatic metals extractor also has me really interested and allows me to pursue a more non-standard. I'm going to be doing some weird stuff compared to my old strategy and tactics videos. Not to mention they've done a lot of changing, updating, and balancing the game. Exploring a sector grants research points. Very handy, because exploring sectors is stuff we want to do anyway. All specialists perform better, plus 10. That's really good. I mean, just efficiency across the board. Their drawback, however, is rather interesting. Applicant generation is reduced. So, yeah, those 50 applicants, yeah, you'll get more, but not as quickly. And we're going to have to rely on Martian-borns sooner rather than later. But I think this is worth the challenge. Let us dive in. Now, because of some stuff I've been testing around here, especially with the exploring a sector grants research points, I'm actually gonna go with the futurist profile. I know that's the one I picked in my last one, and it is the hardest, and I mean there are other commander profiles that are probably a bit more powerful, but again, I like me a challenge. So we're going with the futurist, which gives us this is the unchanged. Breakthrough techs are research faster, and autonomous sensors as a starting tech. Now, one of the things that is new with, well, it's not new with the expansion. They already released this, but it's new to me, because it wasn't around when I did my strategy and tactics series, is the game rules. Now, they have actually added some new game rules here, but I figured, you know what? Let's, in the name of rule number 3, and anyone who's watched my old series knows what rule number 3 is, let's get some Armageddon going. The meteor rating is set to a new max level for all locations on Mars. So yeah, we're going to be playing with meteors, among other things. Alright, so I think this is looking good. Let's go for it. Now for our contents here, and this is where I'm going to be doing some odd stuff. First off, one of the benefits to Japan is their rovers are not only half price but also half the size. So you can get a lot more done with rovers at a lot lower opportunity cost. As such, I am going to make use of them. That being said, this is a little overkill. We don't need the Explorer right away, and I'm actually only going to use one RC Commander. But this is a half-price RC Commander. I ain't going to complain about that. And we can fit so much more on here. Now, 10 electronics is good. 15 machine parts is good. I am actually going to completely ditch polymers. You'll see why, at least for this first rocket. Obviously, we are going to need polymers, but our future rockets will be able to handle that. Let's dive into the prefab. Stirling generator. We don't need no stinking Stirling generators. I mean, they're not bad, but I'd prefer to build my own. Thank you very much. But we are going to go with the double-double technique here of 2 moisture evaporators, 2 fuel refineries to get this ship refueled quickly and back in the sky so that we can get return trips. Also, our requisite drone hub. I know some people like to try and go without this because the electronics upkeep. I can't live without it. I like it. Now, we've got 10,000 kilograms worth of space left. What are we going to use it for? Well, I'm going to do something kind of weird. It might seem wasteful. It might seem silly. You might say, what the heck you're doing, Pinstar? I'm going to go with 2 things of concrete. Well, 10 things of concrete. You'll see why. You'll see why. Trust me. Trust me. And, of course, we have to give this a good Japanese name. Let's call you the Plus Ultra. Oops. There we go. We are going to Mars Plus Ultra. Let us begin. Now, for our landing spot, I've been poking around for a good site here. The nice thing is that your not only is the map and resource layout static per colony site, but the tech arrangement is as well. So, I found one site that I particularly like. It is 3 degrees south, not A, 3 degrees south, 127 degrees east. So, when you guys get the game, if you want to play alongside me here and take a try at this particular site, you can enter these coordinates and you'll get the exact same map and the exact same tech order, including breakthroughs. Now, I will admit, yes, we do have resources piled on a little on the thick side. That's okay. Threats are definitely there. 3 stars on dust storms, 2 stars dust devils, 1 star cold waves, and of course our maximum prizes from the sky. But you know what? All this combined, I think, gives us a nice high difficulty challenge rating. I'm happy with that. So let's begin. Okay, so we are here. Let us, pause first. Now, a couple of things to point out. First, we're up here on this sector. Got quite a few things going for us. We've got some rare metals on here. We've got a regular metals deposit here. Got some concrete. Got a vista, which gives a comfort boost if we build a dome nearby, and we got a water deposit. So quite a lot going for us, but we need to approach it properly. The other thing is we found water on Mars. We get some research for that, but unfortunately, since we didn't have a research picked here, we don't actually get any research for that. But that's okay. There's other milestones to get and research to earn. Now, with Explorer AI, this one I'd normally get nice and early, but we don't have an Explorer, at least not this time. Next ship, we're getting an Explorer, don't you worry. So, but researching this first isn't going to do anything for us. I think I'm going to go for Live from Mars to start applicant generation as soon as possible, given our drawback. Then I think Explorer AI would be the next logical one. Then I think Low-G turbines, because we're actually going to be pushing that into service. Then we'll go Low-G fungi and Low-G. I mean, we can always reorder these later. As far as scanning goes, let's go here, 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 and then we'll go here, 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 here. There, that way we can get our initial area sort of mapped out. Now, before we land, let's see where our actually let's land first, and then we'll see who our rivals are, because that's one of the new features with the with this expansion pack, is that you're not you're not the only one left on Mars here. There are other colonies trying to do their thing. Now, they're not on your map; they're in completely different parts of Mars, but you still have to be mindful of them, and you can still interact with them. I'd say right here in the midst of everything is pretty good. So yeah, let's do that and unpause. Hi there. Well, I'd call you Sharky, but you're not Sharky. Plus outra. Alright, so let's take a look. And yeah, we didn't actually take any like regular drones, so the only drones we have available to build our colony are the 4 freebies that we get with the RC Commander. That being said, that should be all we need to get started and start setting everything up. But before we do that, let's take a look at the planet here. So here we are. And we have 3 competitors right now. You can set the number of competitors that you have, but the game will randomly decide who they are. And they are pulled from among the other sponsors. So here we've got China, and they have all the same bonuses and advantages and disadvantages that you would get had you chosen that sponsor. So, you know, you could have a colony from like the International Mission to Mars that has a metric F ton of money and resources, and guess what? They're going to have all that. So you're going to be competing against that. Or you might get lucky and you might have some of the lower ones. I think China is rated at either medium or hard. Space-wise is definitely a medium. And then we've got India, which also I remember is medium. And their standings, with your initial standings, seem to be randomly generated. We're neutral with everybody, slightly happy or slightly sad, but we can impact that later. Not much we can do with them at the moment. We can contact them. We could initiate trade, but yeah, we don't... They're not going to be interested because neither us nor them are going to have trading posts set up. We'll get into that later on. You can also exchange technologies, which actually might be. Yeah, they don't want to do that when they're just neutral. I was in one of my practice games able to get them to trade it when we were at a good standing, a 1-for-1 tech trade, and it works just as you would expect. Oh yeah, and you can't just keep spamming them for requests here, so it looks like you have to wait for 5 souls before you ask them again, which makes sense. You could easily abuse that otherwise. Request resources, again, we don't have a way to... Do you want to sell you not a flamethrower? Oh, the references. Or you can insult them, but there's no reason to start flinging mud now. No. Also, you can do covert ops, but we need to get further developed before we can start doing that. Stealing drones, stealing techs, stealing colonists, and sabotage buildings. But no, we don't need to start being the mean pants. All right, so let's plan out our deal here. Now, one of the new things from when I started playing, they didn't have this when I was there. I don't actually know if this is part of the expansion or if this has been in for a while, but the large wind turbine. These things are awesome. They are the bigger brother to the regular wind turbine. Cost twice as much, need twice as much in maintenance, but produce twice as much in base production. The main difference is that these things are quite potent, and they don't have as many drawbacks as solar. So one of the reasons why I took 10 units of concrete is I'm going to start right off the bat with a large wind turbine for our power situation and just go from there. We're actually going to be avoiding solar, I'd say almost pretty much altogether here. Will that actually work out for us, or will I, is this a really dumb idea? I don't quite know, but I'm going to go with it. We're trying something new. So we're going to have our rover over here. Let's plan out our other buildings, because the first thing we want is a concrete extractor. Oh, they changed the mechanics of concrete extractors, and it makes me really, really happy. So before, what you had to do is you had to like take carefully sized bites out of the concrete deposit with your extractor. And once this area was devoid of concrete, you had to demolish this, build a new one nearby, and repeat the process. That was too micromanagey. So what they decided to do is, as long as the deposit is within just the gray box area, then it has access to the whole thing. So I could just plop it right here, and it would be able to extract eventually the entire deposit. So no need to demolish and redo it or worry about the shape of it. And that makes me happy. So bada boom. And let's get some power lines going. Okay, good. I can get that with just 2. Beautiful. And yeah, we got some surface metals right here, so they'll be able to do their thing. Let us continue. Actually, let's speed this up, because early game's a little on the slower side. Alright guys, oh yeah, let's so these, my friends, are the wasps. Again, they function pretty much the same as before, but these guys will fly, and they can fly with materials attached too. Like they slow down a little bit, but they can still fly, and that's useful for a number of reasons. Well, one, once they get up to speed, they get going a lot faster than your surface drones here. 2, they can ignore terrain. They can fly right over it. 3, they can also fly over buildings. So if they're going from point A to point B and there's a big cluster of buildings in the way, instead of driving around them or through them, they could just fly right over the buildings. So it just makes them a lot faster and more versatile at no extra cost. Like, these guys operate, they still need to get recharged as normal. They still have the same capacities. It's just that they're just a lot more versatile. So yay, Japan. I don't know. I know Japan gets them by default. I don't know if there's like a breakthrough tech that other. Yeah, see, look at this guy. He's flying over this little ridge over here. Why he's flying over the ridge, I'm not sure. Why the heck did you fly over there? You gotta go here, buddy. But anyway, they're pulling out the concrete that was carried with the rocket, just so we can get this up and running. Otherwise, you'd need to set up some solar panels, use the solar panels to get this going, then use the concrete from that to get the wind going. But now we've built solar panels, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just go straight into it. Let's cut out the middleman and not have to worry about the sun, which is ironic because we're our sponsors from the land of the rising sun, and now this is the land of the ignore the sun. The first little prize. I didn't see where that hit, but the sound reminds me of home. We are definitely going to be having to play keep away from them, or not, and just try to patch the holes as they get made. We'll see how accurate they are. I kind of if I remember correctly, I pretty much lucked out like pretty well in my old series. We didn't get pulverized too badly. But who knows what, as soon as, I'm pretty sure me saying that has just doomed my colony to have just like everything important get smushed early. Alright, now we're going to get out our drone hub, because these 4 drones, yeah, they're doing their thing, but they're a little slow. They're being a little slow. just by themselves, but we get 4 more free drones from the drone hub, and we have it prefab, so it takes them nothing but a little time to build it, and then we're golden. And we can sort of tap into that. Because while this has a 10 base power, it's actually putting out 16.9 because of the 69% elevation boost, because we're up here on a ridge. Very handy. That being said, even if we started down here, I'd still build wind power, because it's darn useful. At least with Japan. Having your infrastructure depend on machine parts to repair, which is the main drawback to wind power, especially early on before we can produce it ourselves, could put us in a little bit of peril and be a financial drain. So there's a trade-off. Solar is a lot cheaper to maintain because all you need is just regular raw metal. There you guys go, and here are our 4 new drones, and now they can help us out. I think what we want to do, because these, yeah, well, we need the drones to get the metal going here. Hopefully these drones, you're in range here. Yeah, you're in range. You're absolutely in range for this stuff, so. Now, if you need 5, how come you're not sending more? Oh, they've already sent them. Okay, good. So we actually need to start building some more of our stuff. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap down one of my moisture evaporators here. Yeah, we can put you right about here. Actually, yeah, we can do that. Give you a little wiggle room here. And then we can also build a water tower. Now, eventually we're going to use this moisture evaporator to turn this into fuel, but we want to just start up the evaporator first and start filling a water tank, just so we have some backup supply ready to rock and roll. Of course, in order to make that work, we need some pipes. Oops, nope, don't need you down there. And of course some more power cables. And then we'll build another wind turbine and get more goodies online. So we can get our fuel production started here. Because again, we're lacking some core essentials. We're certainly nowhere near being able to get our first dome online. But the faster we get our fuel up and running, the faster we can send Plus Ultra back to Earth, and the faster we can get it coming back here with more goodies. All right, let's speed you up just a notch here. Oh yeah, that's the other nice thing with the command rover. One other big change that they changed to the rovers.
Anomaly found.
Ooh. That sounded like a prize from the sky anomaly. Yeah, that was a prize from the sky anomaly. Unfortunately, it's going to be a long time before we can get to it, but hey man, prizes from the sky, I'll take it. One of the big changes they made to reduce the amount of micromanagement is you no longer have a battery on your rovers. You do not need to send them back to your power cords to juice up. But they can still provide battery to the drones, which is awesome. So much awesome. Well, so much more awesome, I should say. So that makes me really, really happy. All right, while we're waiting for our concrete, let's get our storages going. Let's get a universal storage. Let's say right near our right nearby-ish, like right here is good. We could also get a dumping site. Let's say about right here. We could also, I'm going to get a couple of, well, first off, fuel depot. Don't store fuel at your universal storage. Down that way, bad times lay, especially with max meteors. So we're going to have the fuel stored there, and we're going to say, you guys can accept everything, but not fuel. I do not want that getting smacked by a meteor and blowing everything up Michael Bay style. That should get you all up and going. And actually what we can do here, because there's some ore over here, let's let's get you over here. Yeah, he's going to recall them first, unfortunately. But we can go over here, and that way you guys can start feeding in the mining all this metal and getting it here. Yeah, that actually should be good enough right there, because I still want them to be able to help out around the rest of the area. Although that's not actually strictly speaking necessary, but whatever. Now, one thing I do want to do is I want to start, building up another large wind turbine here so we can get more power going. Now, one of the interesting design decisions with these things, and I agree with it, I think this is a smart move, is these can't be rotated. So you can't stack them, flip the triangle, flip it, like, you can't stack them Triforce style. It's a little harder to stack them unless you plan accordingly. Of course, we're going to be planning accordingly, and stacking them like here should work out just fine. So there we go. And yeah, that's fine right there. That way you're all hooked up. And then once we get enough concrete to build that, they'll get that online, and then we can get the rest of our fuel production online. Right now, all we're doing is just this one moisture evaporator pumping itself into this one water tower. And the main reason for this water tower, at least in the beginning, is whenever we get a dust storm, and we're gonna get dust storms because we're at a 3 rating for dust storms, that shuts down the moisture evaporators. They cannot operate in dust storms, but they'll be pumping the water in here, and we'll be able to continue to produce fuel by draining the water tower. And then it'll become a more dynamic and useful bit of a structure later on. At least based on my current plans. Those don't always go according to plan, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see here. Let's speed you up a little bit. We are in Sol 2. Let's see. You're just about emptied of all of your main resources. All that's really left are these machine parts, all of which are going to be very, very important to our things. All right, we got that other one online. Let's get the rest of our prefabs down. Let's see here. Production, fuel refinery. We want one of these. Let's see if we can't squeeze you in here. Maybe yes, maybe no. No? No. Oh, close. That's actually... Oh, actually, that works out perfectly. Beautiful. That hooks right in. For our other fuel refinery. Well, actually, let's get our other moisture evaporator online, and we want to try and keep it away here. Don't want these to and I don't want it too close to our to this, because we don't want it to constantly be coated with dust. That's a little bit too... I mean, if I remember correctly, yeah, it's you just can't have it inside the range. Yeah, we don't want it to take any penalties like that. Yeah, we'll do that. Although, hang on, what's the range on you? You know what? No. I want to place this correctly. That's already penalized. Yeah, if I put it in here, it's gonna give me the penalty one way or the other. There. I hate to have to do a one thing cable, but I'm gonna have to. And then we'll do a pipe. All right, good. It hooks up. All right, and then last but not least, we need our last fuel refinery here. This doesn't care about proximity. Now, if I could put you here, that would be great. But does that make you run afoul? Yeah, it might make you run afoul, and I don't want to have to constantly be fixing this either. That's actually not. That should be close enough. Yeah, you're just outside. So that works out. All right, let's kick you guys up a notch. Got a nice little colony going here. Got our concrete on, got our metals on. These guys are recharging themselves up here. They can also come down here for a juice up, and also they can still recharge at the ship itself. Yeah, go ahead and build that if you don't mind. Uh-oh, whoa. Run away! Run! Boy, when I said we'd have to dodge meteors, I didn't realize that was going to be literal, but yeah, there we go. We're dodging meteors. What is this, an RTS? Phew! Thank you for the heads up, Miss Announcer Lady person. Whew, that could have been inexpensive. I'm glad none of the drones got smushed. Yeah, chip. It wasn't even a properly prized meteor. It doesn't have like some free resources for us. Ah, well, you can't win them all. All right. Now, one of the other things that we want to consider with our sponsor, you got your milestones here, and these are what you're actually competing against the other colonies for. So we were the first to find water on Mars, and we got that prize awarded to us. But if you take too long, the other colonies are going to start ticking these off, and if they get to them first, you don't get that bonus, you don't get those points. It's a race after all. So we're going to want to be quick on our feet. Now, the other thing we want to consider here is the sponsor goals. So every different sponsor has a different set of goals, and if you complete those goals, they will give you a nice reward. So for us, the first thing, the easiest ones to do are up here at the top. So the first goal they have for us is have 6 sensor towers, and they'll give us 15 drone prefabs. That's awesome. That's really awesome. And we want to scan anyway because of our sponsor bonus, and sensor towers help give us warning to disasters. This is kind of the reason why I picked Futurist, because Futurist gets no maintenance, no electricity needed sensor towers, which is really, really handy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to get sensor towers, one electronics and one metal. This is why I took 10 electronics with me. It's for these sensor towers, and we're going to scatter these to the 6 winds, if you will. We're going to take the range of our drone hub and put one at every corner. Is that a little bit over coverage here for the region? Maybe, but it gets us our sponsor bonus sooner, and it gives us a really, really far warning of incoming disasters. So I think that is probably probably worth the trade-off. So put you one down here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Well, yeah, well, I'd want it to be a little closer to the corner. All right, folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put these at each of the 6 corners, and in our next episode, time will have passed a little bit. We will have our sensor towers up and running, and some more fuel being generated. So stay tuned. This should get interesting. If you like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya!